Good morning, everyone. So, as we had discussed in last lecture about the variables, so now here in this video we'll start with the concepts of Python data types. So, this video basically going to be divided into two parts. Part 1 where we'll discuss some data types, and in part 2 we will discuss rest of the others data type. So, what are data types? So, data types are used to define the type of a variable. A variable has some values and those values has some types. So data types define the type of a variable, whether it is integer, it is float, or it is complex number, or string, or any other data type. So data type is stored in memory and can be of many times. So according to this figure you can see the Python data types are divided into 5 categories, that is numeric, dictionary, boolean, set, and sequence type. Further, numeric is categorized into 3 parts: integer, complex number, and float. And sequence type, you can see it is strings, list, and tuple. So these are the data types that are available in Python programming language. Now you can see more description in this table, that is numeric, int, float, complex. You can see classes are the heading, because as we had discussed that in Python all the variables are basically classes and their objects. So data types are also classes: int, float, complex, str, list, tuple, range, dict, bool, set, frozen set. All these are basically classes, and the values that are held by the variables are the objects of these classes. So these are the data types available in Python. First of all, we'll see number data type. So number data type is basically integer, float, and complex values. And there is a function called type. If you want to know the type of the variable, or variable is type of which object, you can use this type function. And is instance function is used to check an object belong to a particular class or not, whether there is suppose it is 5.5, so you want to check whether it belongs to float data type or not, you can use this is instance function. So numeric data: int, float, and complex. So integer values can be of any length, such as 10 to 29 minus 20 etc, and there is no restriction on the length of the integer, so it belongs to int. Float, it is allowed up to 15 decimal points. And complex, you know the numbers which are in form of x plus iy, where x is a real number and y is imaginary number. So x plus y iy are the complex numbers supported by Python. So let's go to our Jupyter IDE and let's see how these data types are working. Here we have a equal to 10, and we try to print the type of a. Again we have b, where we have assigned a float value 43.5. we try to see what are the data type of this b variable. As we had discussed, the type function is the function that provides you the data type of a particular variable. So if you provide argument as this variable in this type function, it will return you the data type of the variable. So this is number, integer, this is float, and this is complex number. So let's see if you execute this code, what we get. See, the type of a is class int, clearly says that a is type of integer, b is float, and c is complex. So c is a complex number. And again this is the function that we had discussed, is instance function. Is instance function 2 plus 5j, the value, and then the class, whether we want to test it belongs or not. So we want to test whether 2 plus 5j is complex or not, so we will provide these two arguments in this is instance functions. If it belongs to this class, if this variable value belongs to this class, it will return true. If it does not, it will return false. So it is complex. Let's see whether 2 plus 5j is float or not, and if you execute it, you will find that c is complex number and is instance it is false, means this is not a float number. So if the value belongs to particular class, it will return true. If the value provided does not belong to this class, it will return false. Now you see, again it returns true. Now this was about integer data type. Now next we will discuss sequence type. What is sequence? Sequence is basically the continuous values that comes one after another. So sequence data type in Python is used to store the sequential data. For example, a string. A string is what? A sequence of characters, alphanumeric characters, right? So sequence data type in Python can be considered as a container that can store different data. For example, if I want to have some string that hello 123, so hello will contain alphabet, and 123 will contain numeric, so it will contain alphanumeric value. And in next video we will see that how such sequence data types are containing different values. We will see later on. So but here we'll go with string data type, and let's see how string data type is working, what are its property, and how do we operate with string data type. What is a string? A string is a series of characters. In Python, anything inside the quotes is a string. Here quotes means single quote, double quote, or triple quote. So this is anything inside the quotes is a string, and a plus operator is used to concatenate two strings, right? For example, we have hello, and then we put a plus, and then we put Python, it will return hello Python. Let's go to Jupyter ID and let's see some practical examples of strings. So here we have message. This is a string in Python, and again we have message. This is also a string in Python. You see, it is in single quote or it is in double quote. As we discussed that string, anything inside the quote is a string. It is single quote, this is double quote. We'll do one thing, we will add here, after this we'll add a section. Here I am writing message equal to this is a string, right? It is in double quote, and we try to print the value of this message. So if we execute it, we get this is a string. Again I am using single quote, message equal to, in the single quote I am writing this is also a string, and then I am printing it again, and let's see whether it is working or not. Message. See, whether it is in double quote or it is in single quote, a string is a string. You can use it as per your convenience. Now there are third option. The third option is multi-line string. So in a multi-line string you can use 3 single dots together as a starting dot, and the 3 single quotes together as the ending quotes. So if you want to use multi-line comment or multi-line string, generally this multi-line is used in the comments, whether you write comments in your codes for your proper understanding of a particular function, you use this multi-line code. So if you execute it, you will get this is a multi-line comment. Again, as I said, string is a string whether it is in single quote or in double quote. So again you can write 3 double quotes with the starting string and 3 double quotes at the ending of the string. It will work as same. So if you execute it, you will find the same output, that 3 quotes are required for multi-line string, whether it is 3 single quotes or whether it is 3 double quotes. Now comes the escape sequence. As we know that there are some escape sequences in programming language. For example, slash is a escape sequence. Suppose you have to get this output, this single quote. Here you will say one single quote here, then it is single quote here, and then it is single quote here. My objective is I have to get the output like this, like it apostrophe s, it's also a valid string. So if I try to do this, see, if I try to do this, I try to do like this is starting and this ending, and in between I am putting a single uh, comma, a single quote in this string. So what it will do, it will just end this string here, and you execute it, you will get an error that this is invalid sequence. So if you have to get this thing printed, this single quote printed in the string, you will use this escape sequence, right? You see, now once you put this before this single quote, it will continue as the part of string, and now if you execute it, you will get that this single quote is getting printed in this value. So escape sequences are used to print the single quote inside the string. Same you can do with double quotes also. Now if you want to path print the paths like c colon slash python slash bin. Now if I try to do like this, c colon slash python slash bin, let's try to print it and see what is happening. Yeah, execute. You see, due to this colon it will work as normal, but here this backslash is not going to print. So what do you have? You have again a escape sequence. You just put this escape sequence before this slash and you will get the output. See, right? So if you have to print slash inside the string, you will use double slash, and if you want to escape this, not if you don't want to escape this slash escape sequence, so you use r starting of the string. If you want to print your string in any format, single quote, double quote inside the string, or slash, backslash, or anything you want to print the string just like it is declared, you just use r option before the string, and if you print this, you will get that you are getting your string printed like the format you have provided. Now there are some options with this string. For example, you have str value hello world. So if you print str, it will print the whole string. Now if you want to print the first element, you will use str the 0. What is 0? 0 is the first index of the string variable, right? As we know, in all programming language, the sequence of a string, the index of the first elements always starts with 0 and it ends with n minus 1. Suppose you have 10 characters in your string, so your index will start from 0 and it will end at 9. So 0 to 9. So first element 0. If you want to print second element, you will just put 1. If you want to put third element, you will say second index, right? Now there are one more option. If you want to print characters starting from third position to fifth position, you want to extract some string from the given string, part of a string, that is substring, right? So from this third element L L O, if you want to get this, you will use this option inside the string. Again, if you want to print all the variables after this third element, you will use this index, then colon, and then you will leave blank. Blank means from this third element the print function will print all the remaining characters. So you see the output LLOWORLT. If you want to print the string twice, you just need to give a string and the number of times you want to print it. So string star asterisk into 2, it will just print the string 2 times. If you want to print it 3 times, give it 3. Now str plus test, as we have discussed, that if you are going to use plus, plus will give you the concatenation of two strings. So here is hello world and plus test, and if you put a space and then you try to execute, you will get hello world plus test. So this was all about your integer, float, complex and string data type. We will meet in next lecture, part 2 of this data type video, and we will discuss the rest of the other data types. So till then, thank you so much. Keep learning. Enjoy yourself.